I want to talk a little about framing today. It's really important if you're trying to make a living as an artist. I want to introduce you to the Frame House. These guys are just brilliant. These guys helped me no end when I was getting things ready for my exhibition in the States. They helped me choose the right mouldings, the right frames. They even helped package the paintings up and helped me with the shipping as well. So they were great. They were a great help. And if you get a framer with his salt, make sure you keep him. Make sure you hang on to him because he's invaluable. And some of the reasons that good framers are invaluable is going to be explained in this blog. So I'd like to introduce you to Paul, who owns Frame House in Consett, the best framers on the planet.
Well, I have to agree with Alex because his taste is obviously sublime. Me and my partner, business partner Eileen, have basically ran the Frame House for about 30 years. So we have 30 years of experience and we love doing what we do.
What advice would you give anybody?
The best advice I would give is to take professional advice and always spend as much as is feasibly possible to make the work look as good as possible. Because if you have a really nice piece and you skimp on the framing, it looks like a cheap piece. Whereas if you get a nice piece and you spend as much as you can, obviously whatever is viable to get your money back again, sometimes spending an extra £30 can make the work look worth an extra £100 because it looks so good. So always spend as much as you can within reason and try and make the best job you can, and never ever cut corners on the quality of the job or how it looks. Make it look the best you possibly can.
The question I'd put to you, Craig, what advice would you give someone who's wanting to get a painting framed?
Well, the best advice I would say is we'll always try to look at the colours in the picture and try to take off what the customer asks us to do. So sometimes when it comes in, they're going on about where it's going to go to, into what decor, and then we try to enhance that with the colours that are in the picture. So we always try to pick a nice vivid colour or an undertone colour that's in the picture and then enhance it through the frame. So the frame it adds to the picture, it doesn't take anything away from it and it doesn't overpower it.
Perceived value.
Well, a lot of people always come in and they say, well, I've bought this picture and I bought it for a tenner, and they expect the frame to be a lot cheaper than that. And the perceived value is that, basically. And framing is quite an expensive thing to do, and especially when you're trying to enhance the picture itself. So the perceived value is what we put on the picture. If someone comes in and says, oh well, I just want a frame on it, we try to do it as cheap and as economical for the customer. But sometimes you have to be a little bit more elaborate and a little bit more choosy for what is actually nice for the picture, or it's a waste of time framing it, in our opinion. It's difficult to put that across to the customer though.
So how about for the artists themselves? How important is that?
Artists it is very difficult for the artists because they've got they're trying to get an audience that covers everybody. So price isn't really an issue to a lot of artists because they want the best for the picture to make it to the open market so it sells a lot faster, because they don't want a picture sitting in their gallery or another gallery taking up space. They want it a fast turnover, and that's what we try to do to see what's selling for them, see if we can put them mouldings into that picture so it gives what people are buying at that time. And with us having a small retail shop here, we have quite a lot of retail customers, and they give us kind of trends that come through. We also read a lot of the local magazines, and the interior designers are what's coming through and choose the frames and colours of what's right at the time. The frames that Alex chose, basically the thinner one, there's only a cost difference of about £15 to £16 difference for the artist, but retail price, it's going to sell a lot faster in the more substantial frame for that cost difference, and that's perceived value.